Suspension accessories. Do they work, or are they just another gimmick to sell us something we don't actually need? I've been riding my specialised Sirrus X Comp Carbon for a year and a half, and I have to say that the Future Shock 1 stem was a bit of a question mark at first. Was it actually doing anything at all to smooth out those bumps in the road? Personally, I've wanted to make this video for quite a while, mainly to satisfy my own intrigue, but when I added my latest accessory, the new Redshift Shockstop Seatpost, I knew it was time. Take a look at the two together in harmony, and let's look at how this could be the greatest move you make towards comfortable riding for your hybrid or gravel bike this year. Okay, I've chosen two local environments, urban and gravel track, to show you how these two perform. Look what happens when I ride over curb drops. You can really see the effects of that shock absorption, especially when the footage is slowed down. The springs are really effective in floating me over the bumps, excusing the gratuitous arse camera, and although this looks as though it's taking a bit of energy away, I can barely notice this as I ride. The shock stop is set to maximum compression setting for my weight. I'm 95 kilos, that's 209 pounds, 15 stone in other words, so I get a hard tail feel unless I impact a bump. On gravel, or in this case a mix of earth and stones, the suspension is removing vibration away from the handlebars and the saddle with great effect. Again, when this is slowed down, you can really see just how much work this is doing. In this clip, I've taken the footage to a quarter speed. Just look at how the handlebars appear to be floating as they counteract the uneven terrain. As you're riding, you can barely feel the effects, excuse the rather dubious bollock camera, which surely has to be a sign of some really exceptional engineering from both companies. So later that afternoon, I took a ride to Bobby Tracy along cycle paths to head to some woodland to test this out along a rather rough section of gravel track at increased speed. Just how effective is the system at turning rough into smooth? So after entering the woods at an earlier gate, I began an impromptu attempt at mountain biking. Okay, not exactly mountain biking, but the closest I'd had on the Sirrus X. Despite being rather beautiful inside the woodland, it was somewhat more difficult than I thought it would be, the bike struggling to manage the undulating surfaces even at my gentlemanly speed.
I've absolutely no idea where I'm going. Oh, God. Right, well this is a Sirrus X, you've met your match.
Okay, I'm now realising it's not a mountain bike. Let's get back to the testing. I'm keeping up a 15 mile/h pace across rough ground made of mud and stones to see just how well the system copes with evening things out. You can see now we switch back to the rear camera that the saddle doesn't appear to be vibrating in the same way the stem is, which is probably due to the difference in the spring loading system. Now with the clip speeds dropped to half, you can see that vibration is greatly reduced on the handlebars in particular. The Redshift Seatpost working in partnership, gliding me over the rough surface and delivering a smooth and effortless ride. Now at a quarter speed, just look at how much impact is being removed, and to think I was unsure it was even doing anything when I first bought the bike. To sum this up, I have to say this specialised Future Shock and Redshift Shockstop really are a force to be reckoned with. I also have to hand it to both companies as neither design diverts the rider's attention as they operate. Sometimes you do notice your riding position lengthen as the seat post compresses, but with it set correctly you won't notice it at all. In fact, as my tests show, you'll be somewhat surprised at exactly how much they are working, leaving you gliding your way through the landscape with a big smile. Okay, that's it from me. I'll be back again with another riding video when I can find a subject worthy of making one. You're adult enough that I don't have to sound desperate or highlight this video with irritating graphics and pointing. Subscribe to my channel if you feel like it. It's pretty basic, but I'm learning video editing and enjoying the experience, so it's working for me too. Enjoy the spring sunshine, get out riding, and I'll see you soon.